So in my last video I mentioned two things. The first being that I would return to my ranking videos, and that I'd talk more about Security Breach. And honestly, I'm more interested in the latter, but don't worry because I came up with the absolute dumbest idea I've had in a while. Staff bots, they make up the main enemy type you'll encounter while playing Security Breach. They appear all over the place fulfilling different roles, whether it be mopping up, acting as security, or being the bouncer for attractions. Then I thought, now hold on, I have some oddly strong opinions on these guys, and by God, I have a YouTube channel. I might as well broadcast them to the world. So here are all the different staff bots ranked from worst to best, an oddly staggering list at 15 unique bots you can see in game. So let's get started. At number 15, the worst staff bot, it's gonna have to go to the Magician staff bot. The only reason for this guy's low placement is that it's just a total missed opportunity. For those of you who might be wondering where you even see this guy, you can only see him broken up during Chica's boss fight. It's his only appearance, and probably the saddest on the list. I also don't know where he'd even show up in the game. There's nowhere that really celebrates magic. The only place they could feasibly wind up to me is the stage where Comedy Bot does their routine. Rest in peace, Magician. Number 14 is going to be a similar case, as this is a type of bot you do see, and see more often than Magician Bot, but still, blink and you may miss it. Worker bots, or construction bots, are only seen on posters throughout the game. They're involved in construction and maintenance, which is a really cool job for these guys. I also don't feel too bad that we don't see any of them, since there's no real need for them. This Pizzaplex is a functioning place of business. Still stings that they are the only staff bot without a model in the game, when there are a ton of staff bots not even in the game whose models are buried in the files. Next is Instructor Bot. This bot appears a total of one time in the entire game, and it's when they are instructing Gregory on how to play Phaser Blast. This one does get points for having a very unapologetically text-to-speech voice, but otherwise there's nothing to him. Number 12 is gonna have to be the Nanny Bot. The Nanny Bot is another one that's rarely seen, with the only one you can see in-game being at the table in the staff bot silo. Still, pretty much every staff bot you can see here is going to be elevated somewhat because they take part in this scene. In Nanny Bot's case, she's the only one at the table whose model never appeared anywhere else in the game, which is just interesting on its own. The name Nanny Bot really does imply to me that this would have been a staff bot present in the daycare, but in the final build of the game, we only see normal security bots. Number 11 is going to be the Server Bot, another that in the final build can only be seen at the table. However, this bot was previously serving at El Chip's restaurant in the tech demo. This one is really unusual in comparison to many other bots because it seems like they may have been effectively phased out by the inclusion of Mop Bots, and a certain other bot you'll see much later on the list. Regardless, if this bot really is supposed to represent Michael Afton at an Afton family dinner scene, then it's funny that it's one of the only bots to have a cap with a brim. Number 10 is going to be the alien bots seen in the Phaser Blast game. I really do like that the only thing separating these guys from the generic Mop Bots is the green helmet, and that they have a gun. Despite their brief and endearing appearance, I can't help but bring these guys a bit higher on the list. Plus, Phaser Blast itself is alright. It's just not a bad time. Number 9 is going to go to the driver assist bots. These are some of the more important bots when it comes to destroying Roxy, and they also have an actually interestingly done jump scare. Plus, I mean, you've seen what this guy can do. Ultimately, the driver assist bot is one of the only bots that actually needs to be in Security Breach for gameplay to work, with most others just being for decoration or challenge. In any full synopsis of Security Breach, you will need to mention the driver assist at some point. There's really only one other bot that I can say that about, but we'll cover them later. Number 8 is gonna go to the security bots. These are by and large the most common type of staff bot you'll encounter in Security Breach. They're like roaches. Their main purpose is to follow a predetermined path and look for intruders. Be prepared to be jump scared by these guys. However, they don't kill you. They're mostly harmless and can be a real challenge to avoid, but they're pretty inoffensive and kinda iconic. Chances are, if you dislike Security Bot, it's because you keep accidentally bumping into them, which I get, but they're not too bad to avoid, and they're very fun to me. Number 7 is going to be Mop Bot Classic. These guys are just friendly janitors, probably the second most common type of staff bot. These guys aren't interested in helping or hurting you, so long as you stay away. If you disturb them while they work, they will call an animatronic to come kill you, which, I mean, fair. I don't really have a lot to say about Mop Bot, they're pretty middle of the road, but lean more on the side of being funny enough in concept that I like them. They might also have relevance in a Fazbear Fright story, which is odd, but you go girl, I guess. Number 6 is gonna be the party bots. These are the bots that stand outside the different attractions waiting for you to give them a party pass. I love these guys, to be completely honest. This is their entire purpose, and when you do give them a party pass, they just whiz off in the opposite direction, never to return. Literally, if you follow them, they will just keep going infinitely in a direction. Their entire life's purpose has been fulfilled. The best part about this is that it just doesn't make sense for a place like this. If every time a party bot gets a ticket from a customer they do this, then there would have to be tons of these guys on standby, always, or customers after the first one would just get in for free. I understand the reason in-game why they run off into no man's land, but it's just so funny to dissect what's actually happening here. But is it as funny as number 5? Number 5 is Comedy Bot, which can be seen on stage in the theater beside the daycare. Funny enough, Comedy Bot was not always in the game, having been initially cut content before being added back in. Sort of. There was a normal staff bot in place at launch, but it didn't do anything much. In update 1.05, Comedy Bot's comedy routine was re-implemented, and this bot could perform. And finally, in update 1.07, we got the Comedy Bot model that we see now. Comedy Bot's joke reservoir is a shallow pool of advertising and reiteration of the rules in upcoming deals. The fact that we waited so long for what amounted to non-jokes made the character that much funnier, at least to me. In fact, let me give you a taste. This is probably my favorite joke that Comedy Bot says. So where are all my single dads? Any single dads tonight? How about my single moms? Any single moms tonight? There is no punchline. This collected data will be shared or sold to Fazbear Entertainment's marketing and business affiliates. Pure comedy. Number 4 goes to a bot with a very odd amount of lore relevance, that being the waitress bots, otherwise known by their game file name, the Circus Baby bots. They occupy Bonnie Bowl in this sort of retro diner, and their appearance is more than a simple reference. This is another character to appear at the Afton table in place of Elizabeth Afton, ergo Circus Baby. Aside from that little bit of a lore boost, I just overall like this design. Although the staff bots in general more so resemble the puppet, this one is very unique. It's one of the only staff bots to not have the tier design like the puppet, and of course, these bots are ice cream, which was what Circus Baby was supposed to be able to do before child murder and all that. Number 3 is gonna go to Mop Bot. Mop Bot was one of the game's biggest memes for about a week, and was then quickly forgotten. Mop Bot jump scares the player at various times only to offer them a map while they explore the Pizzaplex. They are the other staff bot you could not summarize this game without mentioning. Although some people find Mop Bot annoying, I kinda just enjoy their role as a sort of comedic relief character who breaks tension in a way that more so is meant to ease the player than scare them. Plus, they're the only staff bot Gregory can kill, as Gregory runs Mop Bot down in the garage ending. Rest in peace, Map Fuck. Number 2 goes to one of the game's most iconic threats in the build-up to release, the Nightmare-owned staff bots. I'm going to simplify their name to Nightmare Bots, but essentially these guys are regular staff bots that have been repainted either by Vanny or 46 to resemble the Nightmarion. That puppet resemblance I mentioned earlier is on full display here. The arms have been painted, they have a plastered on mouth of sharp teeth, and thick black tears. They also have written on their chest, "In your dreams," further emphasizing that they resemble a character who only exists in someone's nightmares. They're also the only staff bot that can actually kill a player if one falls into the pit of them during the Chica boss fight. And of course, these are the staff bots that Vanny uses to disassemble Freddy, and likewise are turned against her and disassemble her. These guys get around a lot for being a rather common enemy in the more intense parts of the game, and I'm here for it. But what are my favorite staff bots? Well, the number 1 spot goes to a staff bot who only appears in one section of the game, but are probably the staff bot that sticks with me the most. Number 1 is the Pizza Bot. Pizza Bots are present in the kitchen in the storage area and are activated in order to assemble deliveries. You have to make a pizza as a Pizza Bot in order to escape Chica, which is something unique to these guys. You can play as one. They are also the only staff bot to get jumped by an animatronic, and they have arguably the most violent death of a character in the entire game, which is hilarious considering it's a robot in a chef hat. I don't have as much to say about Pizza Bot as I did Nightmare Bot because these guys only appear in this one segment, but if you ask me, they need to be everywhere. Why do we even need security bots? Just stick flashlight in these guys' hands. In fact, Burn Trap? Nah, we need 46 rebuilding the burnt Pizza Bot. Make it happen, Steelwool. And that's all of them, excluding all the bots that were unused, but to be frank, if I did include those, this list would be more negative than I want it to be. I mean, they're unused for a reason. From Magician to Pizza Chef, which of these staff bots is your favorite? Comment down below, I'm interested in seeing just which ones people like out of this list of 15. And be sure to subscribe for more horror and indie content. I'm pretty excited for the future of this channel, but I'll only get there with more of your support. Share this video around if you like, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.